Did you know that a year before scoring the Ivory Coast winning goal against Nigeria in the just concluded 2023 AFCON, Sebastien Haller was a cancer patient? Of course, seeing how energetic the Ivorian striker was, this is hard to believe. But the Borussia Dortmund forward almost had to quit playing football. This is the remarkable story of Sebastien Haller, who went from cancer to glory. Haller, who is now strongly associated with Ivory Coast's third AFCON, wasn't always an Ivorian player. The AFCON gold medalist was born on June 22, 1994, in Ris-Orangis, France, and represented France at various youth levels. He played for the France under-16, all the way up to the under-21, before pledging his allegiance to the Ivory Coast. He was born to a French father and an Ivorian mother, so he was free to represent both France and the Ivory Coast. Professional football career. Sebastien started his professional football career with Auxerre. He signed a 3-year contract with this club on June 26, 2011. However, he had to wait for about a year before making his senior team debut. Haller struggled to have a key role in Auxerre, so he had to join Utrecht on loan, where he had a great first season and got voted Utrecht's Player of the Year in 2015. After 2 successful seasons with Utrecht, he signed a 4-year deal with Bundesliga side Eintracht Frankfurt, where he won his first trophy as a professional football player. Haller didn't just have his first silverware with Eintracht Frankfurt. It was at this club that he established his name as a formidable force in football. In the 2018-19 season, he had 29 appearances for this club and was involved in 24 goals. He scored 15 goals and 9 assists, and was only behind Robert Lewandowski in goal contributions. After a couple of successful seasons in the Bundesliga, Sebastien Haller moved to the Premier League, where he put pen to paper for West Ham. He made his debut on the 10th of August, but he had to wait 2 weeks before scoring his first goal for the Hammers. Haller didn't exactly have a great time playing for West Ham. He had a dip in form and blamed this on his wife and son's ill health. Also, David Moyes replacing Manuel Pellegrini as manager played a role. Although Haller didn't exactly have a great time as a Hammer, his overhead kick goal against Crystal Palace turned out to be the Premier League goal of the month. Sebastien Haller didn't wait until the end of his West Ham contract before moving back to the Netherlands. He signed a 4.5-year contract with Ajax, which united him with Erik ten Hag, who was his manager at Utrecht. Diagnosed with testicular cancer. Haller lived like a regular professional footballer until he signed for Borussia Dortmund. He was back in the German Bundesliga. Unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan. Well, this video is going according to plan, so before we go on, kindly smash the like and share buttons. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. After putting pen to paper for Borussia Dortmund, the fans couldn't wait to see Haller get on the pitch and score the goals. Sadly, instead of wearing his jersey and taking part in games, Sebastien had to stay away from football. He was diagnosed with testicular cancer and couldn't take part in the Borussia Dortmund pre-season tour. For the next couple of months, Sebastien Haller had to go through chemotherapy and surgery. After spending the remaining part of 2022 getting treated for cancer, Haller was finally cleared to get back to the pitch. Of course, this news sounded good, but the fact that he was finally getting ready to make his debut for Borussia Dortmund was even better news. Life after cancer. Sebastien Haller had defeated cancer. However, there were still pockets of resistance. He had been away from physical activity for a long time, so he needed to get to match fitness. Of course, not everyone believed Sebastien Haller had what was needed to get back to the game quickly. However, a greater percentage of Planet Football believed he could get back to fitness rapidly. Sebastien Haller made his debut for Borussia Dortmund in a friendly match against Werder Bremen. However, he got his first goal in a match against Basel. Everyone was glad that he scored, but even more beautiful is the fact that he scored a hat-trick. Haller had to wait until January 22nd, 2023 2023 before making his league debut with Borussia Dortmund. This was in a match against Augsburg. Of course, there was a standing ovation for him. However, he didn't score in this match. He was probably slightly disappointed, but nature had better plans. 2 weeks after his debut, he scored his first goal. This goal was in a match against Freiburg. Coincidentally, it was on World Cancer Day. Speaking to Bundesliga.com after his goal, Haller said, "To score today was a great message to everyone who is fighting today or will fight later. It gives some hope and some courage. That's it, you know? The days after will always be better. Since day one, I've had this in mind. To score in front of the yellow wall, to experience this atmosphere and this power. All the push they can give us is this boost. We need to use this as a boost for the team and for everyone. It was the best day possible. It's also my task to give everything for them, teammates and coaching staff. They were here when I needed them. The only way to get points and reach our goals is to stick together, to be as a team, and to keep going like that for the rest of the season." It's easy to say Sebastien was the most excited person on the planet after his goal, but he couldn't have been the only happy person. His coach Edin Terzic was also glad. Speaking of this goal, he said, "We were looking for this moment when we signed him in the summer. We were hoping he'd score in his first game in the summer, but after what happened and all he's been through, it's a very special moment for him. And it is a very important goal for us. You can feel it. Hopefully he can continue like this." Getting his first goal for Borussia Dortmund in the league was proof that Haller was back. But he wasn't exactly back to full form. He didn't score any other goals for Borussia in the next couple of matches. He went on to make 11 league appearances for Dortmund, without scoring a single goal. With this, Dortmund signed a new player, and Haller was moved to the bench. He had just finished the fight with cancer, and was in a fight for a place on the first team. Taking part in the AFCON. Haller was clearly not in form. However, he still got called by the Ivorian team that made it to the AFCON. Since he wasn't in form, he had to start from the bench. Together with the Ivorian team, he almost did not make it from the group stage. Interestingly, the Ivorian team qualified from the group stage as the best losers. They went through Senegal and Mali and were in the semi-finals. The Ivorian Coast were in the semi-finals against all odds, and Sebastien Haller got his first start. He had waited for this moment all his life, and he took perfect advantage of it. Although Haller was not featured in the entire tournament, he showed the Ivorians how much they'd been missing after getting the only goal of the game. This goal came about 30 minutes to the end of the game, and it was enough to get the Ivorians into the final. Haller and his teammates had to get through Nigeria to win their third AFCON. Both teams had scored a goal, and the game could have gone to extra time when Sebastien showed up. He got a cross from Simon Addinger of Brighton and Hove Albion and converted under pressure. He ended up scoring the most important goal of the tournament, about 19 months after getting diagnosed with cancer. Haller's long journey from a cancer patient to an AFCON winner seems very much like a fairy tale, but Ivory Coast's AFCON winning coach sees it as more than one. While speaking about the outcome of the tournament and Haller's role in everything, he said, "It is greater than a fairy tale. I am struggling to take it all in. When I think about all we have been through, the difficult moments when we were behind, when we came back in the last minute of games, we are miracle survivors." Sebastien's story is perhaps the most inspirational on Planet Football at the moment. However, two-time African Footballer of the Year Kanu Nwankwo has a slightly similar story.